Hey, what's up, everyone? In this video, we are going to look at the latest version of MyListing, which just dropped. It's version 2.15. And for any of my clients that are out there listening, I just talked to a client today who asked me, "Hey, could you upgrade us to the latest version of MyListing?" And I said, "Not yet, because there's bugs to work out." But the more I thought about it during the day, there's just there's just constantly bugs with the MyListing theme. It's software is like that, right? They're constantly fixing things. It's not necessarily a knock against the MyListing theme. Software routinely has issues. So I've rethought my stance on this. If we go back, if I just do a search here for fix, okay, look at each of these change logs, the number of fixes in each change log. This one is just categorized as bug fixes, and they list a bunch underneath there, so you don't actually see the word fix. Same with this one. There's a number of fixes. Here's a release with just fixes. Look at all these fixes. Fixes. There's just too many. Because if I keep going by that philosophy, which I've always believed in with software in general, then we would never update anything. So if you're watching this, client, then I'll try to send out a note to everybody. We're just going to go forward with the updates. I don't know what else to do, because we'd be delaying forever and we would never get the latest version. So unless I see something completely glaring, just a deal breaker, then that's different. But anyway, sorry for the ramble, but it's this stuff is important. You got to really look and see what is going on in these change logs. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in. One bug I know of already that's a deal breaker for anybody that's using WooCommerce memberships. There is a bug. If you go into the support board in MyListing, you'll see that I posted a bug. I can't on my own site update to the latest version of MyListing because as of version 2.13, it broke the ability to do anything with products, really, with WooCommerce. So that's a big problem. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. The first one up here is video URL. I'm literally reading this for the first time with you guys. Video URL field. Added support for multiple videos. All right. So let's go over to our test site here. Let me actually pin this. There we go. All right. So let's go into listing types. Let's go into our test listing type. Fields. Here we have a video field. This just happened to have these in here for another bug I'm trying to get fixed. Okay. Video. You know what? We need to update the theme. I wanted to update the theme with you guys here together. So let's go to appearance and themes. I like to always remind people of this, that you don't need a special plugin to update the theme. You just go to Theme Forest, you download what's called you choose the installable files only option. That's going to give you a zip file. And then all you do is go over here and go add theme, upload theme, and then just choose that download zip file. That's all you got to do. I always recommend backing up your site. I also recommend always testing this in a staging site first before rolling this out to production. So we are just that easily replacing the previous version with the latest. Okay, so now let's go back into our listing types. Let's look at our video field. Here we go. So now we have the ability to allow multiple videos. And this means I'm going to be updating the MyListing worksheets. Let me show you those if you're not already familiar. So we have what's called the MyListing worksheets. I highly recommend these if you are building a MyListing site. It's basically spreadsheets that's built in Airtable. And you come in here and you just get the various, copy the various Airtables. You have to be logged in with your club account before you start to see these spreadsheets available to you. And then you just copy them and you fill them in. But every time there's a feature that's like this, I need to go into the worksheets and update them. They are extremely comprehensive. They take a super long time to create. They take a long time to update and keep them completely fresh. But just know that after this video, probably tomorrow, I will have those worksheets updated with what we see here. Okay, so we now have the ability to say maximum number of selections allowed. Leave blank to set to 0 or set to 0. Leave blank or set to 0 for no limit. Okay. That's weird. Leave blank or set to 0 for no limit. Okay. I feel like that's a little weird, but okay. Enable package-based selections. So they keep bringing us, and this is a good thing, keep bringing us monetization strategies. So we can enable package-based selection limits. So you can say, hey, if you buy, I need to go, let's go over here real quick. We can actually go into let's go into one of our real listing types. Let's go expert. And let's find video. Do we have a video field in here? Here we go. Introduction video. So we can come in here, allow multiple videos. And then we can say, so what's interesting here is leave blank or set to 0 for no limit. So does that mean if we turn on enable package-based selection limits, that overrides what's here? This is the stuff that frustrates me, and there's just such a lack of information and documentation when it comes to this stuff. All right, enable package-based selection limits. I'm going to assume this is going to override whatever this is. So we can come in here and we could say, all right, package 1, they can do 1 video. Package 2, they can do 2 videos, whatever you want to do there. All right. So that is the ability to add multiple videos. That is really cool because currently what I have been doing is adding multiple video fields in my own MyListing project over at influencewp.com. I've been adding multiple video fields and then using package visibility to either show 1 or 2 of those. So this is going to solve that issue. All right, let's go back to our changelog. Added support for Twitch and Streamable. All right, that's interesting. So we can come over here. So now it's not just YouTube. We can go Vimeo, Daily Motion, Twitch, and Streamable. So what's interesting there is there's no mention of Daily Motion or Vimeo. Or I'm sorry, Vimeo is always there. So there's no mention of Daily Motion. That's interesting. Let's do a search for Daily Motion. Maybe, yeah, it's interesting. All right. So they just forgot that. Anyway, the good news is we've got multiple video providers. That's pretty self-explanatory. Well, actually, is it? Okay. Allowed video providers. But they don't give us instructions. Because we have to put in, they always have Vimeo, but we always had to put instructions in here on how the format should be, but we don't have that. So we're not given any kind of format. Okay, so I'm just going to assume that any URL you put in there is just going to work. Okay. Hopefully that's the case. Next up is add filter, allowing the site admins adding additional video provider. Okay. Okay, so that sounds like a development thing. So if you're familiar with, like you're a developer, you're familiar with coding, you can use PHP filters to add more providers. But they should have provided more information about this in their changelog than what they did here. This is like a link to what the filter is. Like, how do we even know what the filter is? Per usual, just the lack of clarity, a lack of transparency, just a lack of documentation. Just this just continues. Okay, moving on. Added package-based selection limits. Yeah, we looked at that already. That is this right here. Okay, it's a monetization strategy. Next up is video block on listing page uses carousel to display multiple videos. This is another thing. This is cool. So this is another thing I've had to kind of work around. So we come over here and we go to single page, content and tabs. Let's pretend that we have a video tab. So we could add a custom tab. We could call it videos. I would make this probably a single column if they're going to do a carousel of videos. We can then add our video block in here, edit that, and then choose our field. So then if we had multiple videos attached to this field, it's going to display on the front end as that carousel. So let's go back here. Video block on listing page uses carousel to display that. We could test this if we wanted. Let's go to our test listing type. I'm going to add, we'll just use this video 1. Let's allow multiple videos. Let me grab a couple videos. We'll just use YouTube for now. All right, so I have, let's go to a listing. Let me go ahead and save this change. So we can do allow multiple videos. We will leave blank, so there's no limit. That's fine. Update. All right, here we go. So we can add one video. Let's add a second. Okay, so it looks like, all right, let's go ahead and just update that. Okay, that looks to be a bug. Let's start over. Let's go listing type, fields. Let's just start over with our fields. Allow multiple files. Cool. Update. Let's go edit our listing. All right, this looks to be a bug. Let me go over in my other tab. Let's go to the support desk, and I'll just do a really quick search. Yeah, there's a bug. So while we're on this, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to file a bug report. Let me be right back. All right, so I filed that as a bug report. Coming back here, let's just make sure let's just make sure this works at all. Yeah, so that appears to work. So if you have multiple if you're trying to allow multiple videos to be added to a field, that does not appear to be working. Okay, moving on. Video block on, okay, we did that already. Gallery field block. Added support for uploading and displaying videos, those supported by HTML5 with the video tag. Okay. Listing type, single page, content and tabs. Let's add the gallery block. Let's see, let's go back here. Gallery field block. Added support. Oh, gallery field block. That's my bad. Fields. Gallery. And then we can use videos. All right. Gallery field and block. Added support for uploading and displaying videos. So they're also talking about the block as well, not just the field. Okay, so they said HTML5 video. Let's see here, HTML5 displaying. Added support for uploading and displaying gallery field block, HTML5. I have no idea. All right, I'm going to skip this. I'm going to assume that if you choose one of these video options, maybe like MP4, then you can go on the front end. And then once you do that, They talk about the gallery block, but I'm just not seeing. Yeah, I have no idea what they're talking about. All right, super frustrating. Okay. Next up is added option to display the mobile menu on the right. Okay, I don't know why in the world anyone would ever want to do that. All right, so we come here and then we view the site on mobile. Which is on the left-hand side. So now they're saying that we can do the mobile menu on the right. I'm assuming that's under theme tools, theme options, header. Here we go. Mobile menu position on the right. I guess that's not so bad. I just rarely ever see that. Let's do this. Let's duplicate this tab. Let's set this back to the left. Okay, here we go. So menu either on the left like that or menu on the right. Okay, that's not so bad, I guess. Okay, I guess. I was more fixated on, yeah, I guess that's not that bad. I'm trying to think of a website to test, like a really popular website. Like we could go to Canva. Yeah, see, this is why I was saying I'm just so used to it being on the left. Let's go to Elementor site. Okay, theirs is on the right. So I wonder if somebody saw the Elementor site and requested this. Okay. Anyway, it's not the end of the world. It's good. It's good to have options. So I'm not complaining. I'm not going to complain. Okay, let's go back over here. Quick search. Search form featured categories. Added option to select terms from other listing taxonomies as well. Option is rename to search form featured terms. Okay. So if we go into our listing, no, that should be in our header here. And they said they renamed it to search form featured terms. There we go. So now we have that. Show search form, da 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 da. Here we can say select the terms to appear in the initial search form focus. You can mix categories with other listing taxonomies, regions, tags, and reorder them as needed. So we can select categories or custom taxonomy, region, tags, whatever that may be. And you can do a mix. Awesome. That's a cool that's a really cool that's a powerful update. All right, good job guys on that one. Good job on that. All right. Now we're down to the bug fixes. Fixed repeater field styling in the back end. Okay? So if you were to come in here under your listing type and you were to add a repeater field, so they're saying somewhere in here there was a styling issue. Okay. And that is now fixed. Next up is fixed OSM. So I'm guessing that's OpenStreetMap location block not loading inside inner tabs. Inner tabs. So if we go to our listing type, single page, content and tabs, I'm not sure what they mean by inner tabs. Are they saying that if we have 3 tabs, for example, and you have the maps in here, and because that tab is in between 2 others? No idea. All right, moving on. If you have that bug, then there you go. Fix an issue where taxonomy terms assigned to a listing type are not displayed in Explore tabs. Okay. So if we come over here and we go to our, like, we'll say regions, for example. Let's say we have a region that we added and we specifically assigned it to a specific listing type here. They're saying that if you then go into the listing type under search forms, explore tabs, that it wasn't appearing here. So regions was our test there. I don't know. But again, if you had that bug, then you'll know what that means. I don't think I've ever experienced that. Fixed issue with MyListing select inputs in backend. No idea. We would love a little more information on this, guys. What was the actual issue? Fixed HTML being stripped from footer text. No idea what that is either. Fixed explore. Another good, if you're watching this, MyListing team, I know you're not. If you are, or someone's watching this and you give a crap, maybe link to some help desk articles where they talk about this issue. Like, that would be smart, right? Next up, fixed Explorer widget preview not rendering correctly in the Elementor editor. Explorer widget preview. Okay, so this one sounds like we come over here, we go to pages, we go to explore, we edit that with Elementor. That this preview over here was having issues. I've never seen that issue either, but apparently they fixed it. Fixed incorrect listing status being applied when switching packages. I wasn't aware of that bug either, but that's good that it's fixed. So if you have listing subscription switching going on, you definitely want the correct package, the correct status being applied. Actually, now that I think about this, I think I've heard about this. People were switching packages, and like, for example, like if the package had a free trial or something like that, it was getting wonky, or in some cases the status is like going into draft mode. Okay, I think I did hear about that, but glad that's fixed. All right, that's it, guys. I'm pretty excited about the URL, the video URL, the video field. We'll just call it that. Besides that bug, I'm sure they'll get that fixed. But I'm excited to see the video field finally evolving. The mobile menu on the right or left, that's kind of cool. Quick search, that is a really powerful feature. That's neat. Other than that, the fixes are always welcome. Yeah. All right, guys, that's 215. If you're a client, like I said, if you're a client of mine under MyListing Website Care, I recommend if you guys are looking for somebody that's a MyListing expert that knows this stuff inside and out, that can supply you with thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of premium software, host your website, help you with small tasks, sign up for MyListing Website Care with me, and I'll take care of your website. But if you're a client of mine already under MyListing Website Care, we'll go ahead and get your website updated. All right. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.